अयं सर्वभूतेभ्यो ददाम्येतद्द्रव्यं मम। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna. Sarvari Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Sakrudeva prapanaya tavasmiti chayachate abhayam sarva bhutebhyo dadam yetad vratam mama. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Padmavati Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी। सकृदेव प्रपन्नाय तव स्मिति च याचते अभयं सर्वभूतेभ्यो ददाम्येतद्व्रतं मम। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna. Devi Saroja Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी। सकृदेव प्रपन्नाय तव स्मिता च याचते अभयं सर्वभूतेभ्यो ददाम्येतद्व्रतं मम। हरे कृष्ण माताजी।
Hare Krishna. Nandini Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी। प्रणाम माताजी। सकृदेव प्रपन्नाय तव स्मिति च याचते अभयं सर्वभूतेभ्यो ददाम्येतद्व्रतं मम। हरे कृष्ण माताजी।
Hare Krishna. Manjula Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी। सकृदेवो प्रपन्नाय तव स्मिति च याचते अभयं सर्वभूतेभ्यो ददाम्य एतद्व्रतं मम। हरे कृष्ण
Hare
माताजी।
Krishna. Pranav Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji, just change the name. Rachna Mataji. Sakrude prapanyaye tavasmiti cha yachate abhyam sarva bhutebhyo dadame vatam mam. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So this week we are going to see how Ramayana itself is a Saranagati Shastra. There are so many examples, 14 examples Acharyas have pointed out. And so Saranagati plays, that is the essence of Ramayana. They say, especially the Sri Vaishnava Acharyas, they say that it is the essence of Ramayana is Saranagati. It is the only message that is conveyed very finally and very clearly is Saranagati. So what is Saranagati? Anybody? Yesterday we all listened. So most of us, most of you are present today. What do you understand as Saranagati?
To surrender, Mataji.
To surrender and to whom?
To the Supreme Lord.
Yes. It can be, surrendering can be that that Ukraine can surrender to Russia, or anybody can surrender to anybody else. When a superior authority, you may surrender. When you can't fight, you just surrender and ask for their forgiveness or ask for their shelter. So, but then in this context, we are talking about taking refuge of the Supreme Lord, which is one of the prime methods of attaining the Supreme Lord's mercy or going back to Golaka Vrindavana. So once again, two things whatever I learned while reading, I want to share with you. So Saranagati is taking refuge of the Supreme Lord. In this, in our context, in Ramayana's context, it is taking refuge of the Supreme Lord who has incarnated as Sri Rama. There are two things that need to be very clear in Saranagati. One is Upayam, that is the goal or destination that you want to achieve. Then another is Upayam, the means to attain that. So what is Upayam? It is the goal. So here, the goal can be different for different people. For instance, even if they surrender to the Supreme Lord, it may not be that always that you will be surrendering for, say, going back to Godhead, or I want Prema Bhakti, for that I am surrendering unto you. It might be that, see, they take the case of Draupadi, for instance. Draupadi also surrendered to the Supreme Lord. When she thought that her husbands will protect her, no, they didn't. She entreated to the Raja, Dhritarashtra, and the elders present over there, Bhishma, Drona, none of them supported her. and she was catching hold of the sari with her own hand and trying with her little strength to protect herself. Then she realized at one point that no, I cannot protect myself also. So she took both her hands above her head and said, Govinda, you are my only refuge. So that is also Saranagati. So when Uttara comes and falls at the feet of the Lord Krishna to protect her child, that is also Saranagati. So Draupadi did her Saranagati for only one thing, for protecting her virtue. If otherwise, there would not have been any Mahabharata. If she had asked for, you take me back, I'm fed up with all these Pandavas, you take me back to Godhead, then she would have gone. With her few feelings, when she did Saranagati, she would have been taken back. And there would have been no war at all. So, hers was a specific goal. And Uttara Saranagati had a specific goal. And so she wanted to protect her child, unborn child, from the Brahmastra. So the upayam can be different for different people. When we do Saranagati, even to the Supreme Lord, that we may be asking for different things. I may be asking for a promotion, for all you know, or I may be asking for a new house or car. I may be foolish enough to ask for such material things also. So that is not, but that is not what is important. The upayam is the means to attain the Supreme Lord. What is the means? There are two means. One is the bhakti and another is Sharanagati. So even bhakti has got certain problems. You have to think of the Lord always, 100% of the time. And when you die, you have to think of Him. Your consciousness must be with the Supreme Lord. Because He says, whatever yam yam vatiswaran bhavam, so that you will be born as whatever you think at the last moment. So you may be a bhakta throughout your life and think of a deer and be born as a deer also. So all these problems are there. But with Sharanagati, when you do really with meaning Sharanagati, they say the Lord has got now the problem. As I told you yesterday, the Marjala Kishora Nyaya, that you have done Sharanagati, the Lord is taking you wherever you have to go. So like the kitten being carried by the mother cat. So now it is the Lord's prerogative. He will remember you. Once you have done the Saranagati with full feeling, then the Lord has taken you as His own, then He will come and remind you of Himself and take you back to God. So that is the beauty of Saranagati. They say even if it is even better than Bhakti. Bhakti is very good. You can go back to Godhead with Bhakti, but then there are some ifs and buts. So Saranagati means the Lord is now responsible for you. So you have told Him, so I am yours. You do whatever you feel like with me. So, but when you have given the that power of attorney or the whole responsibility to Supreme Lord, definitely you are 100% sure of going back to God. That is how they say Saranagati is even better than Bhakti. This I heard from a Vaishnava Acharya's lecture, so I wanted to share with you how important Saranagati is. Then let us come to the again Balakanta. There are two instances of Saranagati we saw one Saranagati yesterday, that the celestials or the Devatas did Saranagati to Vishnu, and immediately they were granted what they wanted. So okay, he gave them the assurance that I'll come and I'll take care of Ravana, you don't worry. Now there's another instance in the Balakanta where the Sharanagati takes place. There, now after the Sita Swayamvara and Dasarat Maharaja, everybody is called to Mithila, and the grand marriage takes place. So the Lord Rama has already broken the Shiva Dhanush, And now he is married to Sita, and the other brothers are also married to the sisters of Sita Devi, and they all are returning back to Ayodhya. On the way, Lord Parasurama comes. He is also another incarnation or avatar of the Supreme Lord, but he is not a Purna avatar like Sri Rama or Sri, and he is not the source of the avatar like Sri Krishna. So they are called the Purna avatar, but Parasurama, but some the specific reason sometimes the Lord incarnates, like the Varaha avatar. It's not a Purna avatar. He came for some specific reason of retrieving the mother earth from the ocean, where she had fallen to because of Hiranyaksha. So that is not a Purna avatar. So here now Lord Parashurama is coming to challenge Rama. Oh, I heard that you have broken the that Shiva Dhanush or the bow of Lord Shiva himself, and I am very angry about it. Now let me see your prowess. So he is coming and challenging. Now naturally, Dasaratha is very much worried about the safety of his son because his son is so young. He doesn't recognize Rama as the supreme personality. He is always he is under Yoga Maya potency, and just like Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Mai, even though they are seeing the prowess of Sri Krishna, always thought him as their own son. So like that here, Dasarath Maharaj is very much perturbed. So he does Saranagati to whom? Parasuram. So he says, Shatraroshat Prashantastam Brahmanascha Mahatapa Balanam Mama Putranam Abhayam Datumarhasi. So he says, Abhayam Datumarhasi. So that is taken as he is asking for Abhayam. So he is surrendering unto Parashurama to leave, to spare Rama, not to get angry with him. So what does he say? What does this verse say? Aren't you a Brahmana with a inviolable ascesis, that is ascetic prowess, and whose rancor means anger, on the Kshatriyas had calmed down too long back. So previously he knew that Parashurama had a grudge against the Kshatriyas because his father Jamadagni was killed by a Kshatriya king's sons, that is Kartavirya Arjuna's sons, killed his father. So he thought that these irreligious kings, they do not deserve to be existing in this world. So 37 times he went about with his axe. So he is called Parasu Rama because he carries the axe. Parasu means axe. So with the axe, he used to exterminate all the Kshatriyas for 37 times. He repeated that. So, but then afterwards, he calmed down and he went to do his tapasya in the Mahendra mountains. So he says, your anger against the Kshatriyas had calmed down long back, isn't it? So why this hostility again? It will be apt of you to award aegis. Aegis means refuse to my sons, for they are yet youngsters. See, my son Rama, Balana Mama. So he's just a young boy, just now married. And now you are such a great sage, and your his prowess with Dhanush is very well known throughout the world, because he is the one who even taught Bhishma later on in the Dwapara Yuga. Parasurama was very good with the bow and arrow, the Dhanurvidya. So he is worried. So my young son who is just now married, so why are you getting angry with him? So he says, Abhayam Datumarhasi. He surrendered. Then what was the result? Was this surrender successful? So the first surrender we saw of the Devtas to the Mahavishnu, it was very successful. But was this successful? Anybody who knows Ramayana? Any volunteers? Was this successful? Did Parasuram said, okay, I grant you mercy, and he walked away? Did it happen like that?
No, Mataji, but I don't know the real fact. But he was They could not. He was not.
Yes, it was
surrendered.
not successful. Yes, you are right that it was not successful. Parasuram's anger did not cool down. He hardly heard Dasharatha's plea and he did not grant it also. So he challenged Rama. So if you are such a great hero that who you can break the Shiva Dhanush, now here is a Vishnu Dhanush. He was carrying the Vishnu's bow and here is the Vishnu Dhanush. Now let me see your prowess. Now let me see you whether you can hold this Dhanush and you can use it. And you can mount an arrow on this and use it. So then Rama fulfills his desire and then he leaves. He says, what shall I aim at? He is asking very humbly. Then Parashurama says, all my ascetic prowess, you can aim at that. So I don't want anything. So he will he will send the arrow for that. So he will be devoid of all his ascetic, that whatever results that he got because of his tapasya, all that phala or the fruit of his tapasya, he gives to Rama and he walks back to his tapasya once again. So this is the story. But now, why was it not successful? So the acharyas say there are two qualities that the Sharanagatan or the person who is Sharanagata should have two qualities. And the person who is giving refuge also should have two qualities. And some say three qualities. I have put all the three qualities, but some say six qualities. They have extracted six qualities of Ramachandra from Ramayana, and they enumerate all those six qualities, and they say he was the ideal person to take refuge because of this, and this quality. So in order not to confuse you all, I have put only three here, the three most important ones. And so the Saranagatan are the person taking refuge. What he should have? He should have akinchanatvam. That means he should not be proud of it. He should not have more and more desires to have that material opulence and that material opulence. That is not the framework of mind with which you should go and take Saranagati. You should be fully devoid of all material desires before you go for the ultimate Saranagati. So Saranagata should have akinchanatvam. And then he should also feel ananyagatitvam. That is, I don't have any other refuge other than you, oh Krishna, oh Rama. I have no other shelter. You are my only shelter. That sort of 10%, 100% feeling should be there, that you are my only savior. Because, see, the Hinduism is a very complicated religion, having so many devatas, and so many people do not understand who is the Supreme Lord. And so their allegiance or their devotion is also divided. It is fragmented because I like this Lord also, I like that Lord also. So what does Krishna says in the 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita? Yesterday also I quoted this verse because that they say is the essence verse of Bhagavad Gita. Sarvadharman parityajya Mam ekam charanam braja. He didn't say you surrender to 10 people. He says Mam ekam charanam braja. Then I'll take care of you. If you are thinking that ananya gatitvam, you are my only shelter, Krishna, then it becomes my responsibility. If you think that you are surrendering to 10 people, then why me? Why should I? So that ananya gatitvam is also important in the Saranagata, who is taking the refuge. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has talked about this akinchanatvam in a very beautiful way. So I thought I'll share with you this. Although a devotee is surrendered to Krishna, Saranagata, and a devotee who is devoid of all desire for anything of this world, akinchana. So akinchana, maybe you may be devoid of all desire. Even the impersonalists are devoid of all desires. But the impersonalists do not take Saranagati, do they? No, because they say Aham Brahmasmi, because I am Brahman and you are Brahman. So why take one Brahman will take the refuge of another Brahman? So they want to merge back into the Brahma Jyoti or Lord because they think that they themselves are God. So they, why the question of Saranagati does not arise at all, but they are also akinchana because they are devoid of all material desires. Their only desire is to go back to the Brahma Jyoti and merge into it. So he says very clearly, although a devotee surrendered to Krishna and a devotee who is devoid of all desire for anything of this world, akinchana, have the same external characteristics. The surrendered devotee has the superlative qualification of having fully offered their very soul to Krishna. As soon as the surrendered soul takes shelter of Krishna and fully offers themselves to Krishna, Krishna immediately accepts them as his own, as an associate equal to himself. That is what he has written. So here we see that differentiation, akinchanatvam, may not be just Sharanagata's own quality. It can be the quality of other people also. So this akinchanatvam is for attaining the Lord. I don't want anything else, Krishna, but you. That is the attitude of the Saranagata, who a devotee. I don't want anything material, but I want you. I want to be your servant always. I want to be engaged in your service always. That is the desire. There is one desire. So Srila Prabhupada often pointed out in his lectures that you cannot fully eradicate all desires. You have to spiritualize your desires. There will be always desire. As long as there is a body, there will be desire. But what you have to do is to leave the material desires and stick on to your spiritual goal of going back to Godhead or gaining back his service, eternal service, etc., etc. So that so these are the qualities of the person who is taking refuge. Then what are the qualities of a person who is giving refuge? That is Sri Ramachandra. They say he is full of compassion for all the living entities, Vatsalyam. Otherwise, why he will say that Abhayam Sarva Bhutebhyo Dadam Etat Vratam Mama. Even if you come only once and tell me that Rama, I am yours, I will give you protection. So that is the amount of Vatsalyam or compassion he has got for all the living entities. So Sri Ramachandra has got this compassion. Did Parashurama have compassion about the other people, especially the Kshatriyas? He did not have. So why Parashurama's, the Dasharatha's Saranagati to Parashurama failed? They say because he lacked compassion, or this quality of the ideal person giving the refuge. Even though he is an incarnation, partial incarnation of the Lord, all the characteristics of the incarnation is not manifesting. For a specific purpose he came, but he did not demonstrate this quality of compassion or Vatsalya. That is why the Dasaratha's Saranagati to Parashurama failed. So then also the person giving the shelter or the supreme person should be capable. He should be Saktiman. So this is definitely, who else is more capable than Lord Ram or Lord Krishna? So they are the most capable persons. And Saralata, they say they should be easily accessible. That means see Ramachandra, even though he was a great king's son, he could come down to anybody's level, to the level of the Nishada king Guha, or he can take satisfy Sabari devotion. So he can mingle with the sages of Dandakaranya. So as if he is also another sage, sitting and talking with them and being so very accessible. So that is also a quality. Because of accessibility, people will have a tendency to go to him and do it. If somebody is very hoity-toity and if they are unapproachable, then we will not have the guts to go and surrender unto that person. So whereas now the Lord is so accessible. So he, because of the Saralata or the accessibility, then the Saranagata gets the courage to go and surrender unto him. Just like Vibhishana came and said, I don't have any qualities. I have all these qualities. But then also, I know that you are so good. So you will accept me. So so that accessibility is also important. So this is all for today. Thank you very much for your